Okay, so this is going to be a quick comparison and overview of the BLON BL-01 and the BLON BL-03, which both have this nearly pretty much identical price tag to them. The thing here is that the BLON BL-03 is pretty much a household name at this point. It's an earphone that really became popular for its good value of sound, undisturbing fit. As much as people hate the fit of the BLON BL-03, I'm not gonna lie, the BLON BL-03 is the only IEM that I wore that never gave me any fatigue out of the box. Even all these other new IEMs are giving me a lot of pain in my ears, a lot of fatigue. But the BL-03, if you just can find a decent tip, you'll be fine. It doesn't give you any pinch, any uncomfortable, annoying pain to your ears pretty much when you wear it. Now, as for the BL-01, the BL-01 is a bit of a retuned version of the same BL-03. So whatever you love about the BL-03 is pretty much refined. So whatever you loved about the BL-03 is pretty much refined here in the BL-01. The frequency graph of this particular one has tamed down that bass. The impedance on this is much more efficient than the blondes, even though the blondes are quite easy to drive. Right, this one is 16 ohms, the blondes are 32 ohms. The blondes can be driven out of anything pretty much, but this is a little bit more efficient, and at least the sensitivity is 102 decibels as well. The fit is what they worked on pretty much on this. Yes, granted, they changed the driver. They're calling the new driver on this one biology driver, dynamic driver. They're trying to give you a decent hype for the earphone, but it's still a cheap model. I don't really think that there's any extensive R&D that went into finding that particular driver to put in that shell. So what you can expect is that when you get this model, you pretty much have to first of all upgrade the cable. I'll provide you with a cable that I am recommending to anybody these days, which is the KBL Limpid. Now, regardless of the one you buy, whether you buy the BL-03, even if you buy the BL-03, please upgrade it with a silver cable. It really does a lot of wonders for it. The BL-03 has more bass than the BL-01. If you're looking for more bass, still stick with your BL-03. The BL-03 will offer you more pronounced low frequency at the expense of a much pronounced mids and detailed highs. You know, the blondes, people say it's V-shaped. That's the BL-03. I don't really think the BL-03 to a large extent is V-shaped. I'll probably say it's mid L-shaped in its tuning, because if you look at the graph of the BL-03, you see that the bass is elevated, but the mids don't really plateau off in that weird manner that you get from V-shaped sets. So the BL-03 is still a very, very good set. I still have the BL-03. It's still a very well regarded set. It still has some quality control issues here and there, but regardless, it's still a set that is highly recommended and highly regarded by a lot of people in the hobby, I myself included. I will always tell you this: always buy something that works for your need. If you don't need much bass, the BL-01 would be good for you. If you need punchy bass that you would love for movies, because the blondes are fantastic for movies, you would need the BLON BL-03 over the BL-01. The BL-01 could be great for music because, let's face it, most music don't really have a ton of bass like that. Most music generally. but movies, a, a lot of movies, if not all movies, have low frequency extension and all that. So you probably need a very solid, very powerful earphone to drive and give you that low frequency rumble, and the BLON BL-03 does it very well, because not only does it extend extremely low, but it really digs incredibly deep. You understand? It really goes down into the 20 hertz digits, and it does it well, especially when you look at what it's doing. Now, if you look at the graph for the BL-01, if we're going by the stock graph here, you can see they leveled out the graph a bit. It's looking balanced in its tuning this time around. The bass is still elevated slightly, but not like as it was before. So this set should be able to please anyone that is trying to get into the hobby without spending so much, or maybe someone that is not looking for a ton of bass. This is something that you need to get for yourself. The mids on this is as well better. The BL-01, the mids is better because of the uncompromised bass performance. This has better mids than the BL-03, but that doesn't mean it has every other thing better than the BL-03. The BL-03 still has better bass extension than it does. The BL-03 still extend relatively well. It's not a treble head stream or anything. It's really, honestly, I would even say it lacks a lot of treble and a lot of detail. So that's one of its disadvantage, but you probably will get it in the 01, because the 01 has an elevated treble that should be able to give you that highs, that sparkly highs that you are looking for. If you're looking for sparkly highs and they're very good mids, then the BL-01 should be the one for you. If you're looking for something that performs very well in terms of frequency response, performance in bass, and a ton of punch in it and slam in its low frequency, then the BL-03 will be for you. The BL-03 is still a fantastic earphone. There is no doubt about it. There's a reason why it's still the highest selling in-ear monitor that at least I have seen. And I've seen the sale number. This earphone has sold relatively well, made a lot of money for the people involved making this earphone. So let's hope it continues that way and BLON keeps on improving. So that's a comparison what you should expect. I'll leave links to the shop so you can pick them up at a discount if you're interested. Follow us here on our YouTube channel, subscribe, like our content, and I'm going to see you guys next time.